Hello, Brendan Sweetman. Assignment 2 for Joint 634. I will get started with the problem statement. In the scenario, we are seeing in the INDOPACOM region that the PRC is expanding their claims in the South China Sea on the Spratly Islands by use of aggressive force against our allies of the Philippines and Vietnam. Some of the root causes as to why this may be occurring is the decline in population that the PRC is seeing, as well as their economic stalling as a lot of their labor opportunities are being shifted over to Vietnam. In order to return this region to a peaceful and stable one, the elements that must change are the immediate cease of aggressive use by the PRC, the removal of their forces on the Vietnam and Philippine island claims, as well as our allies to be capable in this area to deter any gray zone confrontations. We are seeking a diplomatic approach with the ASEAN nations rather than by use of force, and we will continue on into the operational approach. In the current state, the South China Sea's freedom is threatened. So for our first level of operation, we are going to look at offensive operations. So because of the activity that has been occurring there, we want to deploy our multi-capable airmen along with the Agile Combat Employment mission that the Air Force is rolling out. We want to invest in the infrastructure there, not necessarily installing permanent bases, but just what those small teams of multi-capable airmen 6 to 12 need in order to do their mission and whatever support they may need. Some of the military forces on those islands that are claimed by the Philippines and Vietnam need to be returned to them, and we will potentially use military force or aid our allies in doing so in removing them from those islands. And finally, we want to use air superiority to conduct surveillance within this INDOPACOM region to ensure that flare-ups like this aren't occurring, and if they are, we know about it through our intel. Secondly, we're going to look at a level of effort in supporting and training our U.S. allies. In the current state, the PRC is aggressing against our partner nations, mostly Vietnam and the Philippines, so we want to work through campaign cooperation. This can involve working with our allies to potentially field a new weapon system, train their pilots, and to bring that back to their country in order for them to become more independent within their military use. We want to conduct joint training as well with our naval forces. Continue to do training within the region, involve Japan, Australia, Taiwan, or other allies within the region to conduct large-scale joint air and maritime operations. But we also want to provide security for the existing claims and show that we won't just leave our allies out high and dry, and show that we will continue to support them in any way they can. Ultimately, in the end state, this can provide our partner nations that are independent and reassure that we will support them in any facet that they may need. Our final level of effort is the Association of Southeast Asian Nations diplomacy. So currently the territorial claims on the Spratly Islands are very mixed, and we want to sort this out through a diplomatic approach. So we want to initiate peace talks with the nations involved and have all of them sit down and seek out common ground within the Spratly Islands. Potentially, if this goes well, we can involve the PRC through our mutual partners because various ASEAN nations have agreements with the PRC currently standing, so we want to involve the PRC. And just to start these conversations, we want to get the PRC and ASEAN to agree that the environment of the South China Sea is paramount for freedom of navigation, commerce, recreation, since all those nations use the South China Sea. So by establishing a small agreement that the environmental concerns within the South China Sea are paramount, we can kind of daisy chain that into something more tangible when it comes to protecting other nations and not using military aggressive force against them. In this end state, we can see a peaceful and stable region where our allies don't feel threatened and the ASEAN nations can continue in their diplomatic conversations and not through the use of military force. And that is my presentation. Thank you.